Aldo, let's stare into space with Dylan Storey. Thanks very much to the Auckland Stardome Observatory. G'day there, Dylan.
Good morning.
Good morning,
everybody.
And first up, we are looking at the brand new propulsion system, or the brand new way that NASA plans to lift rockets off the Earth.
Yeah, well, they've just announced they've announced sort of the designs, I guess, of their new vehicle to replace the shuttle to take astronauts up into space. It's a new heavy lift vehicle because the Russian crafts that go up, or the other crafts that are launching up into space, can't actually take that much weight.
Right.
And they've named it the SLS, which stands for the Space Launch Vehicle. So they're getting pretty creative with their titles there.
Aren't they just?
Yeah. It combines shuttle technology with the technology that was developed for the Constellation program, which was canned after the global recession.
Yeah.
But it combines those things to save money, or at least to, I guess, tell officials that it's saving money so they can get on with their job. It's big. It's really big. 30 stories tall.
Mm-hmm.
And projected to launch in 2021. And the interesting thing about this is that they're talking about taking people further out into space in it. So they're talking about going to asteroids, possibly even Mars in the future.
Oh, cool. But it looks...
Whereas the shuttle...
Yeah, whereas the shuttle was more of an orbit thing. It looks like a traditional rocket. You know, it looks to me like the rockets of the 1960s.
Yeah, it does, eh? With the small nose and kind of gets wider. It looks like this going back to the sort of more Russian industrial designs.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're seeing there is just the part. It's just the booster. So the part that's going to boost the thing up into orbit. The actual craft, we've actually seen no sign of yet. So the orbiter, I was going to call it an orbiter because the shuttle, they actually call the shuttle part the orbiter. But I guess you can't really call this an orbiter because it's to go out of orbit. It's to head off further into space.
Yeah.
So we've still got no glimpse of what that may look like. They're just showing us the booster rocket.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I'm glad they're at least progressing with that. Let's move on to something else. Something called HARPS has hauled in over 50 new exoplanets. What the heck is all this all about?
Well, so they've they're a organisation called HARP, which stands for High Accuracy Radial Velocity Planet Finder, and they use land-based telescopes, special equipment to measure the radial velocity of stars. So, if you can imagine a star is spinning, all stars are spinning, our sun's spinning, everything in space is spinning, basically. That means that more or less, depending on the way the spin is oriented towards us, we're going to get one side moving more away from us and one side moving more towards us, so we can actually measure the speed of the light that comes off the away side by its redshift, by the way the waves are shifted.
Yeah.
And then the other side will be coming slightly towards us, so that the light will be slightly blue shifted, the waves will be bunched up slightly. So based on accurate measurements of these two different speeds of not speeds, but what we call redshifts of light coming from the star, you can measure the star's rotation pretty precisely. And if there's any fluctuations in that rotation, they must be caused by a planet orbiting the star. So this is one of the ways of finding extrasolar planets.
Right.
And they've just announced 50 new planets, which is a pretty impressive batch.
Yeah, that's quite a haul. It is quite a bag, really, a catch, if you will.
Yeah, it's quite a catch. Maybe a term will need to be coined for like a collective noun for exoplanets.
Is there not one already?
Not that I know of. No. Like a school. I don't know. A parliament.
An extrasolar. Moving right along.
I'm sure something will come up here.
Next story, the James Webb Space Telescope has been saved.
It looks like it, yeah. the bill has yet to be finally passed, but it's looking pretty good, because a while ago there was talk that the funding cuts to NASA and everything was going to can the James Webb Space Telescope, which is the next generation space telescope to go up and replace Hubble. It's sort of orders of magnitude bigger, so the information that we're going to get from it is really going to be a huge step beyond what we've already learned from Hubble, which is Hubble itself was a vast step in space exploration. So it was really gutting to anyone interested in space that it might have been going to be canned, especially because it's already well along in its development. So it looks like that it's looking like it's been saved. So 2018, the projected launch date for James Webb Space Telescope, and I'm excited about it just because it's going to be a huge new step in understanding of the universe. And when we think about what Hubble brought about, the sort of the changes in our understanding that brought about, where you can expect the same sort of leap from James Webb.
What's going to happen to Hubble?
Well, it's still going fine. It was sort of relying on shuttle missions to maintain it. So to go in there and do maintenance, install new cameras and things. I'm not sure what its projected lifetime is, but it still will keep working in more or less capacity. But it will eventually degrade and become unserviceable. And its orbit will degrade, and I guess it will fall into the Earth eventually.
It's kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's sort of as the hardware wears out, it becomes less and less useful.
Okay, all right. Well, those are some interesting stories. Of course, more space goodness over at the Auckland Stardome Observatory. What's going on there this week?
There are the special shows for the Rugby World Cup, which focus on the southern night sky for out-of-town visitors and Kiwis alike, to go and see what the southern night sky is all about compared to the northern hemisphere. So that's at 4 and 6 every day, and then there's the usual night sky show at 8 o'clock. And there is the show of Black Holes showing at 7 o'clock in the 7 o'clock slot.
Cool. Well, sounds very good. All right. So thank you very much, Dylan Storey. If people want to continue the conversation, they can on Twitter, twitter.com/Dylan Storey, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you.